Right, this next song needs a bit of audience participation, okay? You've all put a few pounds on tonight eating the cakes, the cream cakes. So it's time to get it off, okay? But you can stay sitting down. We're going to sing a song about the Queen's middle son. Does anybody know what his name is, the Queen's middle son? What's he better known as? No, you can't say that, Randy. What's his official title? The Duke of York. So we're all going to sing. We're all going to sing together as loud as we can. The grand old Duke of York. Right? And we want everybody doing the following actions. When they were up, they were up. So come on, everybody, get your hands up, please. When they were down, they were down. And when they're only halfway up, and you can wave there if you want, but listen, just be careful if you sat across from another bloke, we don't want you sending them signals across, alright? You know, we noticed you were doing it a bit at first off as well, but you were neither up nor down. So when you're singing it as loud as you can, and doing the actions, please, well, we'll have a bit of fun. Okay.
Oh, the grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down.
Well done, great actions. It was like a Mexican wave. But if you could do the actions again, but just sing it just a little bit louder, okay?
Oh, the grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down.
Well done. Well, that's far too easy. So this time we're going to do it again. We still want all the actions, but you're not allowed to sing the word up. Now if we catch anybody singing the word up, you've got to remove the noise. Come on! Sorry, that's when we do the conservative club, sorry. No, if we catch anybody singing the word up, they've got to do the washing up, okay? You ready?
Oh, the grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them to the top of the hill and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway, they were neither nor down.
Right, come on, point them out. I don't believe that one there, but definitely. And I think there might have been one down here as well. Because we have been doing this for a number of years, and what we've noticed, it is only the ladies that make mistakes. Oh, it is, because the lads will agree with me here. Us lads, we never say a word out of place, do we, lads? We don't. And then the women, they're always opening their gobs when they shouldn't. And dropping us right in it, is that right, lads? So we'll call that a practice. This time you can sing up, but you can't sing down.
Oh, the grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill and he marched them again. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down.
That was a lot better. This time, you can't sing up or down.
Oh, the grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them to the top of the hill and he marched them again. And when they were, they were. And when they were, they were. And when you're only halfway to another.
Oh, that's my case. Anyway, last time, you'll be pleased to know that this time you can sing up and down, okay? But nothing else, just up and down, okay? Oh. Up. Down. Up, up. Down, down. Up, down. Thank you, well done. But you may have noticed that during that song I did come out with what could have been loosely construed as a bit of a sexist remark there when I said about the ladies opening the gobs when they shouldn't and dropping the strap. But did you think it was awful? Because I do have a story that backs it up. A friend of mine, he actually lives in Great Eccleston, and he was driving through the main street and the police pulled him up. And he pulled up next to the curb, he wound his window down, the policeman came up to the car and the policeman said, "Good evening, sir." And George, my friend, said, "Good evening, officer, what can I do for you?" And the policeman said, "Well, you know I have stopped you, don't you?" And George said, "Well, not really." He said, "Can't be out or we're doing wrong." He said, "I weren't doing anything wrong." And the policeman said, "Well, actually, sir, you were doing 3 things wrong." He said, "First of all, do you know what the speed limit is along here?" He said, "Yeah, it's 30. He said, "Well, could you tell me why you were doing 46? He said, "46. He said, "There's no way I were doing 46. He said, "All right, I might have been doing 31 or 32, but there's no way I were doing 46. And his wife was sat next to him in the passenger seat. She said, "Come off it, George." She said, "You always put your foot down going along here." She said, "You were doing at least 50. I were looking at the clock." And if looks could have killed, she'd have dropped dead there and then. And then the policeman said, and secondly, he said, "You've got a back light out." He said, "Well, we're all right when we left our house." He said, "Bull must have gone, has been travelling along." She said, "George, that back light's been out for at least 6 months." She said, "Every time we go to visit my mother comes out to wave us off, and as soon as we get home, she's on phone saying, 'Do you know you've got a back light out?' And you always say, 'Yes, I'll fix it in the morning.'" She said, "And you never get round to it." And he looked at her and said, "Well, you shut up, woman. Quiet." And then the policeman said, "And thirdly, you weren't wearing your seatbelt." "Oh," he said, "I was." He said, "I just took it off." He said, "In case you wanted me to get out and sign anything." She said, "George, that seatbelt's never been unrolled since the car went new." She said, "You never wear your seatbelt." She said, "And furthermore," she said, "you always said that seatbelt law's a stupid law." She said, "You've never worn your seatbelt once." He said, "Now listen, woman," he said, "if you don't shut it," he said, "I'll shut it for you." He said, "Now button it, you're going to get me in trouble here." And then the policeman changed tack slightly and he said to George's wife, he said, "Excuse me, madam," he said, "but does he always talk to you like this?" And she said, "Only when he's had a drink."